Hello, Huskies, and welcome to week 2 of Distance Learning with Miss Love. I hope you had a really successful first week. From my end, it looks like you guys did. Almost all of you, with the exception of just a small handful, have selected your books for our independent novel project. I'll show you real quickly here. I have this editable document for all of you, and look, it's almost full. So I hope that you all have been reading in the meantime, because really last week, outside of signing up on that sheet, that's what I wanted you to start doing. Obviously, we're going to continue to do that and just have kind of some supplemental lessons in the meantime while you're reading your novel for you to turn in on Google Classroom. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I do have one additional resource for you that I'll be posting in Google Classroom, and I'm also going to be sharing this with your parents and guardians as well. It's just kind of an overview of what this week will look like. It gives you kind of a calendar and breaks down the information so that you know how to break it up, so that you're not, necessarily wondering what to do Monday through Friday, which day should I do what. I kind of broke it down for you here. If you need to rearrange your schedule, however, you're welcome to do that. I do have due dates highlighted here, but we're being kind of flexible since this distance learning thing is new for everybody. It's just one of those things, though, that you want to, as much as you can, keep with the schedule so that you don't get too far behind. So whenever I'm finished, the video that I'm making here will also be in the middle. You can access it here as well and just kind of see what the breakdown for the week is. I also have it really handy for you. The overview for the whole project is on the second page. You can still access that from the Independent Novel Project Overview, that really long document that spells out all of the pieces that I'm breaking up for you each week as we go through this process. But I just thought I would make it really kind of more accessible on the second page of each of these little weekly updates. So that brings us to week 2. Here's what we're going to be doing. The first thing you're going to want to do by Tuesday this week is do an author check-in on Flipgrid. I have already done mine as an example for you. So when you click that link, it's going to have you log in with your Written account, and you should see this. What I want you to do for your first check-in is really just kind of tell us about your book. What are your impressions so far? Why did you pick it? And then also read one excerpt that stood out to you for whatever reason at all. Read us that excerpt and then tell us what you thought of it. The whole thing could be around 2 to 3 minutes probably. I talk a lot, so mine was longer. It was like four and some change. You can see it down here. I even posed with a picture of Michelle Obama because I'm reading her book Becoming. So take a look at it first, just so you can kind of see an example of what this author check-in, book check-in might look like, and then go ahead and record your own. After you've done that, I do get an alert on Google Classroom, but you're welcome to hit turn in so that you know that it's finished and done on Google Classroom, so you don't have that big red missing, thing staring at you. Next, and the thing that's going to take up the bulk of your week, is the author outline and biography that you can find on Google Classroom here. I'm going to click on it, go to instructions. It's outlined in the Independent Novel Project Overview, but again, I'm breaking that whole thing up into sections. So it's independently on its own, and there's a document ready for you with your name on it to do the work here. So the overview is just for viewing. This is where you'll actually do the work. So if you click on this outline and biography page, it'll pop up here. You can have it open here too. Nope, that's a sign-up sheet. All right, so it populates here, and then I have some information, pretty basic, that you want to find out about your author, what their full name is, do they have an alias or aliases that they go by, different name, for example. Where were they born? You can tell us a little bit about their parents. This is just general information about their date and place of birth. You can, supplement any of this information to make your biography stand out a little bit more. Give us some of the books that they've published. This is the most fun, number 4, where it says 10 facts about your author: family, awards, childhood hobbies, other jobs, school experiences, personality, how do they get their ideas for their other books, etc. What I found out about Michelle already, Michelle, like we're on a first name basis, Mrs. Obama, is that she learned to play piano and at her first recital, she couldn't find middle C, even though that's like super important and basic information, because she learned on a piano where the ivory key, the middle C was chipped on it, so she never actually had to really learn or understand where it was. She just knew how to find it that way. And she talked about, inequity and all this kind of crazy cool stuff with just this one conversation about learning on a broken down piano to play for the first time. So anyway, that's one fun fact that I found out about her already, and also that she was really good friends with Jesse Jackson's daughter. Didn't know that, found that out. So those are just a couple of things that you might not know, we might not know, that we might find interesting. So you want to find at least 10 of those and list them here. Number 5 says, explain how the author comes up with their stories. Are they based on real life events or from their creative imagination? That's going to probably lead you, well, it will lead you later into doing sort of we talked about the literary criticisms, the biographical lens, and deciding whether or not, the author is using his or her life to influence the writing. So those are some questions that will lead you down the path. Number 6, when and where did this author write? Emily Dickinson, for example, she's, a poet, and she never showed anybody her writing. She would write in her room and hide her work. It wasn't until she died, I believe, much later, that people found her work and discovered her. So if there's anything interesting about that, did they often write outside, or, things like that, that might be interesting too. You do want to cite your sources, so wherever you find the information about your author, be sure that you're clicking on that little extension right here, EasyBib, to make sure your source is credible, and then also just to catalog it and make sure that you're getting it from a reputable source. And you'll just put that citation, at least 2 citations here. Once you've gathered all of that information about your author, you want to just kind of synthesize it and turn it into a paragraph, something that we are interested in reading. Might make us intrigued, about your author, and that's basically what this is saying here. At the bottom line is you want to definitely have the information that you gathered up here on this first page in your paragraph, but if you find out anything else that we didn't cover that you want to mention, be sure to include that in your biography here. You know how I like, really chunky paragraphs, so don't give me, 3 to 5 sentences and call it a day. For one thing, this is a lot more than that. So begin typing here. Your paragraph can go, right on the second page, and then you can turn both of these things in together. Your rubrics down here below, if you want to kind of take a look at what I'm paying attention to, the ideas, the organization, and then the language and conventions that you use. So research on the top. Second page is where you type it all up into a nice little paragraph. I mean a chunky paragraph. And what else do I need to tell you? That is due on Friday, so make sure to click Turn In on Google Classroom for that as well when you're finished. And then if we just take one last look at kind of the general overview, like I said, it's on that kind of quick at a glance tool that I have for you this week. Still read. I know it's going to take a while for you to finish your books, but looking forward to the next few weeks, we're going to have, next week I will talk to you about the project over the book. That one is going to allow you to have a lot of different kind of creative energy, and we'll go over the different kind of projects next week. That's probably going to take you a little bit longer, so I'm going to give you a couple weeks to work on that, with, of course, author check-ins thrown in there as well. Then you're going to do a critical letter to the author, your book summary, and then we're going to get ready for our mixer after that. So I just wanted to show you kind of the updated dates, and everything are here. And then, of course, if you have any questions, need to reach me. Some of you have used Hangouts. Remind is an option still too. If you don't have, written or email on your phone or something, prefer the texting method, you can use Remind. Just text at Mrs. Love H to 81010, and I'll get back to you there. Hangouts, email, though, whatever works best for you, I'm available for you. So please let me know what other questions you have. Keep reading your books, keep learning about your authors, because when we do that mixer, you guys are going to be the authors. You get to internalize their stories, and introduce yourselves to us. So that's kind of what we're working towards. And I hope week 2 is wonderful for you, and I'll check in with y'all again soon. Bye.